Welcome back to another episode of Broke Up, Not Broke In. I'm your host, Jamie Lima, and founder of Allegiant Divorce Solutions, where we help people prepare for, navigate, and recover financially from divorce. This podcast is your one-stop shop for mastering your life and your finances throughout the entire divorce process. Today's guest is Ann Pells, a financial strategist and business mentor who teaches people how to buy professionally managed, done-for-you businesses that generate $10,000 a month with as little as 1 hour per week of effort. Ann's work is a game changer for women and families who want to move beyond budgeting and step into true financial freedom. Whether you're recovering from divorce, protecting yourself from future instability, or just ready to rewrite your financial story, this conversation will challenge you, and I'm sure it's going to inspire you. So grab a cup of coffee or your beverage of choice, buckle up, and let's once again get you personally and financially empowered. And it's so great to have you with us.
Thank you.
I appreciate you joining us here today because I think there's so many of the people that we work with on the divorce side of things, helping them navigate the decisions that they have to make through divorce and figure out what is their future budget going to look like? And are they going to be able to make it? Are they going to be able to keep the house? Are they going to be able to do this, that, and the other? Put little Johnny and little Susie through college, all of the things, right? Those are all the questions that so many of the people that we work with have, and so many people that listen to us have on their mind the wake of divorce, especially if they're going through it or on the tail end of it. And I know you have some personal experience with this, not yourself, but your parents, having to watch them go through the divorce years ago. So maybe we start there and talk a little bit about what that was like for you, and then talk a little bit about what you're doing now and how some people that we work with can benefit from working with someone like you.
Okay. For my own experience, just about when I was graduating high school, my stepdad and my mom divorced, and it kind of blindsided me. I didn't see it coming at all. And then financially, a lot of things changed. I stayed with my mom and some of the kids were with him. And it was, as you said, very interesting to try and navigate who, what, where, when, about the house, about the money, a lot of things. And I think that was kind of a crucial time for me just to figure out, all right, who am I going to be now to have our family broken up, but not be broken as a person, like you said. And just, I think the big discoveries for me were, instead of saying, I can't do something now, whatever it is, we can't figure out the money, we can't figure out the house, we can't. I found that it helped me. My mom's dad, actually, my grandpa, sat me down on the couch and I was kind of stressed and just oh my gosh, what do we do now? And he's like, and if you ask yourself the question, how can I, instead of saying I can't, that will help you find the right people, the right solutions, the right answers for things. And then for me, going into, I'm 18, 19, 20, I'm looking for the person that I want to be with. And I'm still hoping for happily ever after, but we didn't have that, right? There were job losses, there were health things. So whether you're divorced or not, I think you're always going to have something that comes up in life that makes you go, and if you can find that, how can I navigate this now? How can I have amicable communication with my ex-spouse? How can we navigate two sets of income now and two households and things? So that's some of what led me to where we are now. It was me just trying to navigate, okay, we're still all wonderful people. We just are not getting along as a family unit anymore. We have to figure out, as an 18, 19, 20-year-old, how am I going to navigate that now?
So fast forward however many years, right? Now you're kind of helping people through transitions of a lot. I mean, it doesn't have to be divorce, right? It could be, other transitions and other things that have happened to them where they're hey, maybe they have a little bit of setback and now they're trying to figure out how do I build wealth, either post-divorce or post-death or post reduction in force at their employer or whatever it is, right? So, so many people are just, this is a divorce show, so let's talk about that. So the people that are exiting a divorce, in my opinion, a lot of them feel like they're starting over financially and basically from scratch, right? So from your perspective, and I know you have a bias towards, the DFY business type of setup, but why do you feel in your heart of hearts that buying a DFY business can be a powerful step in regaining some of that financial stability and control?
I think what we're trying to do with any source of income that we have, our journey was, have 3 under 3. I have gotten married. We're okay, but then all of a sudden, as you said, reduction in force, and the income was gone, and there wasn't any other income. So I needed to find a way to have income coming in that didn't involve my time and would still come in even if something changed, our health changed or something. That same grandpa was an example of that in so much as when his kids were 18, 19, 20 and going to college, he owned a business, but his health changed and he wasn't able to continue that. So I think, as you said, divorce and other situations like that are a financial start over. And ours was reduction in force, and where's the income now? But we still have to pay water, food, and all those things. And so I wanted people to be able to not have to take 20 years to find the solutions. So that's what we offer. 2 phone calls, one to help your house start paying for itself, and one to help have that income generated with business. That doesn't involve your time. I feel like there are so many, you can find all kinds of people who want to teach you how to do real estate, how to do a lot of different things to have income coming in. But what we almost need is just automation and systems and teams of people that will help us to do it, so we don't have to know everything there is to know, especially after a divorce. Because honestly, my mother, she was so busy trying to create income in this new family situation that she was hardly sleeping. I think just the stress and her health and lots of things were changing all of a sudden in that financial reset that the divorce was. And so I think if we can just create a runway and a system and I like to call it the crock pot recipe, I guess. I'm very, if you can put 5 ingredients in and know you're going to get the result out at the end, that's what you want your health to do and your money. And because then you have time emotionally to handle all of the other roller coaster that's created in a divorce. Now we need to communicate about a few other different things now. Where the kids go to school, how do we do visitation and custody and all those things that are related to divorce. So
give me a 2-minute commercial for the typical DFY type of business. What is it? Because I've been a financial planner for 20 years, and you're one of the first people in the 20-year time frame that I've been doing this that actually has been talking about this stuff. So, and I'm I get talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old when it comes to this stuff, because I'm not really sure how it works.
In bullet points, all the baby boomers are retiring and they want their businesses to continue. And when we can offer them a solution, we're going to help you sell your business to a person that wants to own it, to have that income coming in. We have a management team already in place. You'll know that it's continuing. You can watch the transition happen. So the baby boomer seller is happy. It doesn't have to be a baby boomer, anyone that's selling a business. And then you want to be in industries that are more recession resistant. What are the businesses that people are going to keep using, even if the economy is up and down and crazy? For example, plumbing, electrician, all those kinds of things. Not something that I need to know how to do, but something that we would have our management team manage, marketing and sales, and make sure that the business continues the way it has been. They're not startup businesses. They've already been in business for 15 years, so you can see how much profit is going to come out of that business before you buy it. So to me, because there's not very much down payment, you don't have to prove or qualify income anymore. It's not about my assets and our income and other things. It's about how the business performs itself. Then it's a fairly simple process to just make sure we find the right one in the right location that fits what they're interested in purchasing, and then have that management team in place. And they share a portion of the profits, so it encourages them to do a good job as management.
Amazing. One of the things, though, that probably one of the biggest challenges you see, specifically around people that are going through a divorce, is the financial strain that divorce puts on people, right? So
Yeah.
my research with the work that you do, I saw that you help people find funding for these businesses in like 30 days. How do you go about doing that? And how is that even possible?
Yeah, we have teams already in place for funding. And again, it's not about how much income the family is making. It's about how much income the business is making, and that's how they can tell you how much funding you'll get. So there are 4 different ways. You can use a home equity line of credit. You can use the private funding that we have. You can use even 0% interest cards. My favorite is the home equity line of credit, but oftentimes you don't even need a down payment or anything else, because it is just totally related to if the business is bringing in 500,000 of profit a year and it has this much revenue, then they'll adjust their financing accordingly. And it's not about, Mr. John Smith's family makes 100,000 a year and they have 200,000 of home equity and 500,000 in their stocks, or I don't know. It's not about the personal assets of the person as much as it is about the business.
Because they're already established businesses that have the cash flow history.
Right. And just like when you're purchasing a home, if you buy it, it's more about your own personal assets and your credit score and income. Businesses are not like that, which is really a lifesaver for divorced families or any families, really. I mean, we don't want it to be based on our own income and assets and credit score and things. So, yeah.
You also mentioned in the lead up to this call and some of the notes that you gave me as far, so I could prepare for our conversation, that many divorces you feel can be prevented with the right financial planning, right? And I would concur, as a financial planner of 20 years, there's so many people that I've worked with over time where there's a husband and wife, but you very rarely meet the wife. It's always the dude who's running the show and involved. And then something happens where he's dead or they're getting a divorce or whatever it is. Or he's incapacitated, because I've seen this movie 1,000 times, and she's clueless. And I'm not picking on women. Everybody that's listening to this should know, if they've listened to any other shows, that I'm not picking on women. I'm just stating the facts, and that's what I've seen historically. So, like, in your opinion, like, how does having that own stream of income outside of your partner change that emotional and financial dynamic?
Well, honestly, I think our most expensive thing that we all have to pay for, and we don't even know it, is what we don't know about what we don't know. And my mom, honestly, did not know. Her dad, my grandpa, ran those businesses, and his health changed, and he created income from real estate and taught me about how can I, instead of, I can't. That was her dad. But she didn't percolate all of that information into her own life. And so when the divorce happened for her, she was what you said, like, about, I don't know anything about money. I'm not ready for this. And so I think it is important that what don't we know? I didn't know that you could pay a house off in 5 years without changing your expenses and income until about 5 years ago. But we've lived in 15 houses over the last 30 years. And gosh, what if I had learned about that 15 houses ago? Think of all the money I would have saved. And all of that money could have been turned into creating some businesses or real estate or anything else that would create that income coming in, even if you have a health thing, even if you are incapacitated or there is a death or divorce or all the big, that kind of blindside us that we didn't plan for. So I think just in the mindset of the two people who are in a marriage, if everyone's, we're contributing to financially, and we all are getting more education than I had. When I graduated high school, all I knew was how to balance a checkbook. We don't even use checks anymore. So
you're lucky you had that, because they didn't teach us that. They didn't teach. I always laugh. I'm like, they could have at least taught us to balance a checkbook. I didn't get that education.
Okay, fair, right? So what we don't know about what we don't know is our most expensive thing. And what if it just only took a couple of phone calls to people who do know, like yourself, or like our business team or our home equity team that helps people to get that house working for them. I think there are so many people who have a little nugget of knowledge that will speed up everything and just create peace of mind. My mom did not have that.
Yeah.
After everything
what you're describing it reminds me of this motto that I have, and this motto, which when I first got my very first jobs managing people,
Yeah.
20 years ago, whatever it's been now. This was even before I got into the financial services industry. I had an opportunity to manage people as a very young person at that stage. And I remember distinctly, he said, use your resources.
Yeah.
Use your resources. And those three, use your resource, 3 words. I count, make sure the 3 words are not 4, so nobody jams me up on that. It's three words. Those 3 words have like resonated with me and stuck with me, and that's why like I've made some of the decisions that I make, and like do the work that I do in some ways, and like all that's like it's like basically just changed who I am and how I thought about things.
Yes.
And here's the thing: very few people that I come across, for whatever reason, actually use their resources. I couldn't tell you how many times, and I was thinking about this on my run this morning. I'm like, how many times a week do I have somebody ask me if we work in all 50 states? It must be 25 times a week. Literally 25 times a week, I get a message or an email, or somebody sends us a message through the Facebook or social media, whatever it is, right? Do you guys work in all 50 states? It's like, how about you go to the website and literally look at the banner that is across the website? Like, let's use your resources. And you're like, how do you? It drives me bananas. So I'm just kind of venting here, but like, what you're talking about is using your resources. You don't have to be an expert in everything to take something like this on. You don't have to be an expert in finances to navigate your way through a divorce, because we are a resource to help you do that. Right. Like you use your resources, and you have to understand, like to your point, if you don't know what you don't know, and there are resources out there like us, commercial for us, the 2 of us, that basically say like, hey, we're here to help. We can support you through this. So like, you must see this time and time again. And people, like, when they finally take the next step to contact you or what have you, is there a like, wow, this isn't as difficult as I thought? Or what's the usual response?
Yeah, really. We've tried to narrow it down. My whole 20 years of life after that layoff, and I went with the 3 little kids, and just, it was frightening, and I did not handle it well. That was not the best version of Ann. But it took us 20 years to find 2 phone calls. And so I'm really grateful for my own children now and all the people after me. You know, if we can boil it down to 2 phone calls, and you can learn how to get that house paid for in 5 to 7 years without changing anything about your lifestyle, and you can, in addition to that, create that additional income coming in without having to spend time on it. Wow. Like, they're free phone calls, and you've probably got lots of information to offer to people too. I think that the real key for me was what it took me 20 years after Grandpa said, and don't tell yourself you can't. Ask yourself, how can I find someone who knows what I'm trying to find out without me having to go through that learning curve and figure it out? It's going to take so much longer to figure out everything all by yourself than it is to just ask someone who's already doing the results that you want to have.
It's the same thing with the scenarios we run into with attorneys all the time. Like they are not trained on the financial aspects of divorce. Most of them can't balance their own checkbook, because I've worked with dozens of them in the past, and I know a lot of them can't even control their own finances, never let alone help give somebody advice on theirs. Yet they're the first call for so many people when they decide they want to go to get a divorce. They're like, I'm going to call an attorney, and they're going to handle the whole thing. And then they're spinning their wheels. They don't understand how to read the statements. They don't understand what this retirement account thing is or that thing is, and it's a disaster. It's like, we could do this. We could help you eliminate all that time, energy, and effort, by just picking up the phone, right? So it's like, you've got to use your resources. You've got to take that next step. And that's, if you're out there listening to what Ann's saying and what I'm trying to pound home, like drive home here, it's all about taking that next step and using those resources. And so as you mentioned the kids, and it got me thinking too, like, people probably don't understand the time commitment of running a business, right? So like, talk to me about like, how do you how do you help people navigate that? Because like you're, like single mom who's got 3 kids and she's got to work and everything else to make ends meet at the moment.
Yeah.
How is she going to be able to go in and buy a business and manage a business and everything else and juggle all that?
That's the real secret, I think. I took business classes. We learned a lot. And then I realized there were too many moving parts and I needed to have a team of people helping me. Mm-hmm. So just like we have teams of people helping our kids at school, helping our kids at church, or all the things, all the people that are helping us in our family anyway, I think it's important to have a business team that does that. I literally spend 1 hour a week or less on each of our businesses. It's on a phone call like this, and they just give me an update. Here's what's happened in the marketing and sales and how many more new customers, what we need to work on this week, and did we need to hire any new employees? So I'm not doing it. I think there are 2 main things, and one is called a book called Who Not How. Find the right who for whatever you need. Don't do it yourself. And the other is let them do it. Whether it's our health, our relationships, all those things that are important after a divorce, but most critically, our money and our time. Everything changed about my mom's time and money after the divorce because of what she didn't know. She didn't know. Like, she didn't know that you could have real estate bringing income in without spending time on it. She didn't know that you could have a business that you didn't have to spend time on. So I think for me, it was just, okay, I don't want to run the business and spend 50, 60 hours a week on it. But what if there's people who do know how to set up a team that will help do that? And once we found that team, everything changed for us. It was, not having to miss dinner and baseball games and all the important things about the family. And after a divorce, of course, your time is even more crucial because you're balancing 2 households, 2 sets of money now. And so, how to make that time and money really recycle itself and go where it needs to go so that your relationships are focused on the people. Like, money is only to help people, and time is for helping people. But very often after a divorce, everyone feels that crunch and the crazy and there's bills and the financial reset that you talked about. And so that's where I feel like you and I both have resources that people can take advantage of without having to spend a lot of time on it.
It's like a mindset shift that people need to have, right? And like, how do you get people to make that mindset shift? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that come to you like, I don't know if I can do this, and
right.
How do you help them over that hurdle?
I did not know what Grandpa was trying to say. Like, instead of saying I can't, say how can I? What if the only handcuffs we really have in our life are our own? And what if we have the key right in our pocket? Because we need to use our resources, like you said. Somebody knows something that we don't know because they're already doing it.
Yeah.
They've already figured out how to not have to have those crazy conversations with your ex-spouse. For the first 5 or 6 years, I was the go-between between my stepdad and my mom. Like, they couldn't talk to each other very well. So we got to do that until they could settle down and establish their own new normal, the new normal that happens after divorce. But it was really hard to be in that in-between spot.
Yeah.
And
you're the middleman. You're the mediator.
Some people don't have a mediator person.
Yeah.
But there are some, and I think there's so many. If we decide that we don't have to do it all ourselves, and what if it really is easier? What if it doesn't have to take 30 years to pay a house off, for example? Or what if there's already opportunity out there and we just have to be willing to get vulnerable enough to ask questions? Sometimes I think we want to present a front like we know everything and I'm going to do it. I'm in charge. And really, I think it's more, I don't know what I don't know. So I need to find out and just to believe that you can. You're not broken. You did have a breakup. pretty important and life-changing one, yes. But it doesn't mean that the rest of your life's in the toilet now. It's not. You still have a lot to contribute. And what if there are tons of people you can help because you were willing to be like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do, but someone does.
This is every conversation like this. I like to end on asking this question, and this is what I always call the carte blanche segment of our conversation. Is there anything that I didn't ask that I should have, or anything that you want to share with our audience that we didn't cover today?
I think it's just been really good for me to have an opportunity to be here. I am grateful for my mother in that she didn't give up. She kept getting out of bed in the morning. Anybody that listens to this, really, if you've already gone through a broken relationship, the fact that you're still standing and breathing means that you can. You are not broken. Yeah. And I think we're all way more powerful than we think we are. And as soon as we can get out of our own way, I'm the best example of that. Gosh, what if I'd known my 2 phone calls 20 years ago or 15 houses ago? Or, I don't think we have to take a long journey. It's like you said, we just have to make up our mind that we're gonna step forward and try things.
Well, that's the thing. And that's yeah. I mean, I think like the idea of owning a cash flowing business might be bold, but after a life shakeup like divorce, I think bold might be exactly what people need to be. So I thank you for your time today. Thank you for sharing your story and the situation. Sorry that you had experienced the situation with your mom and your stepdad there, but lessons learned, and here you are, and here I am because of my situation. So we wouldn't be here if it weren't for those experiences, that's for sure. But for those of you that are listening, you can connect with Ann on LinkedIn or Facebook, and we're going to include all those links in the show notes. For those of you that are navigating a divorce and wondering how to create real financial freedom and get the help that you need on the financial side of things as you're navigating it or maybe even recovering from it, visit us at allegiantds.com for that support. And the support that I feel like meets you where you are, regardless of what stage you're at. Subscribe to Broke Up Not Broken for more conversations that blend strategy and hope just like this one. And we'll see you again next time.